In the southwest region of Nigeria, not far from the city of Ibadan, there was a building that looked completely ordinary. It was quiet, isolated, forgotten, but behind its walls, something horrifying was happening. For months, people had been disappearing. Young men, women, travelers. Even no bodies were found, no suspects, no answers. Then, one day, authorities received a tip about a strange compound on the outskirts of town. When police arrived, nothing seemed unusual at first. But as they entered, the smell hit them. Rotting, heavy, unmistakable. What they found inside was beyond disturbing. Rooms with chains, blood-stained floors, and hidden areas that looked like they were used for something far worse than holding people. This wasn't just a hideout. It was a processing place. A place where victims were brought and never left. According to reports, kidnapped individuals were taken to this building and held captive. Many were tortured. Some were killed. But the most disturbing part wasn't just the violence. It was why it was happening. Authorities believed the victims were being used for ritual praktisiza, form of so-called money rituals, where body parts are believed to bring wealth or power. Some accounts suggest organs were removed, bodies were dismembered, remains were disposed of in secret locations. These acts weren't random. They were deliberate, organized. Deep inside the building, officers discovered what many later called the death chamber, a confined space where victims were allegedly taken before being killed. The walls told the story. Scratches, marks, desperation frozen in place. It was clear people had fought to escape, but failed. The discovery shocked the entire country. It confirmed what many feared, but couldn't prove. That organized groups were abducting people for ritual killings. Some suspects were arrested, but many questions remained unanswered. How long had it been going on? How many victims were there? And how many places like this still exist? Undiscovered. Even after the building was shut down, locals refused to go near it. They said at night, you could still hear things, faint sounds, like voices, or scratching, coming from inside. They called it a house, but it wasn't a house. It was a place people entered and never came out. Real graphics of Nigeria's slaughterhouse. Viewers' discretion is advised.
As the train neared its final stop, Lucy dozed off, waking to find only one other passenger, an old man sitting across from her, grinning widely. She gave him a polite nod before looking at her phone. When she glanced back up, the man was sitting closer. His grin had stretched unnaturally wide. "You shouldn't be here," he whispered. The train screeched to a halt. Lucy bolted out of her seat, but when she looked back, the man was gone. The conductor found her later, frozen in fear. "Miss," he said, confused, "this train has been empty for years." The doll that blinked. Lisa found an old porcelain doll in her grandmother's attic. It had cracked skin, but its blue glass eyes were strikingly lifelike. That night, as she lay in bed, she swore she saw the doll blink. She laughed it off, telling herself she was imagining things. The next morning, the doll was gone. Lisa turned slowly, her stomach sinking. It was sitting on her dresser, its cracked lips curled into a smile. The wrong reflection. Emma was brushing her teeth when she noticed her reflection wasn't in sync. It blinked too late, smiled too long. She waved her hand, testing it. The reflection hesitated just for a second. Then, it grinned wider, stepped forward, and reached out. Emma stumbled backward, but her reflection didn't stop. It stepped out of the mirror completely. The last thing she saw was her own face, smiling down at her as the lights went out.
Ever since she was a child, Sophie was afraid of something lurking under her bed. She would never let her feet dangle over the edge. One night, she woke up paralyzed with fear. A raspy voice from beneath the bed whispered, "Come down here, just for a second." Summoning her courage, she peeked under the bed and saw herself staring back, eyes wide in terror. The other Sophie whispered, "That thing in the bed isn't me." In Greenbrier County, West Virginia, Alvazona Heister was found dead under suspicious circumstances. Her husband, Erasmus Shue, claimed she had died of everlasting faint. However, Elva's mother, Mary Jane Heister, insisted that her daughter's ghost visited her in dreams, revealing that Shue had murdered her. After exhuming the body, investigators found that Elva's neck had been broken. Shue was arrested and convicted, making this one of the few cases where a ghost's testimony contributed to solving a crime.
On the night of June 9, 1912, in the small town of Villisca, Iowa, the Moore family, Josiah, his wife Sarah, and their 4 children settled in for the night after a church event. 2 young girls, Lena and Ina Stillinger, were staying over as guests. 8 people in total were inside the house. By morning, they were all dead. A neighbor noticed the house was strangely silent, with no movement inside. When she knocked and got no response, she called a relative, who unlocked the front door. What he found inside would haunt the town forever. Every single person in the house had been bludgeoned to death with an axe. Investigators determined that the killer had entered the home late at night and long-form video will be posted soon. Please help me subscribe for more content like this.
This story is based on the actual event. In a remote farmstead in Bavaria, Germany, the Gruber family and their maid were brutally murdered with a mattock, a farming tool. The eerie part: days before the murders, the family reported strange occurrences: footsteps in the attic, unfamiliar newspapers appearing in the house, and a set of mysterious keys. The killer is believed to have lived in the house for days after the murders, feeding the animals and staying hidden. The case remains unsolved to this day, and the farm was eventually demolished to erase the haunting memories. Please follow this channel. The long-form videos of this story will be posted soon.